Eight Mile is a 2002 American musical drama film written by Scott Silver and directed by Curtis Hanson. The film, which contains autobiographical elements from Eminem's life, follow white rapper B-Rabbit, Eminem, and his attempt to launch a career in hip-hop, a genre dominated by African Americans. The title is derived from 8 Mile Road, the highway between the predominantly African American city of Detroit and the largely white suburban communities to the north that Eminem originally lived in.
Jimmy Smith Jr. is a young blue-collar worker from a poor family. During the day, Jimmy works at a car factory, desperate for money, struggling with every aspect of his life. He wants to make it big, but his friends and foes make this odyssey of rap harder than it may seem. The city is divided by 8 Mile, a road that splits the town in half along racial lines. Jimmy summons strength within himself to cross over these arbitrary boundaries to fulfill his dream of success in hip-hop. With his pal Future and the 3 1/3 in place, all he has to do is not choke. Rabbit builds up with courage, battles them all, humiliates them all, and wins the battle. After being congratulated by Alex and his friend, Jimmy is offered a position by Future co-hosting Battle at the shelter. The final shot of the film sees Jimmy walking away from the shelter, looking more confident about his future.
8 Mile is a rated R movie because it tackles about sexuality, use of drugs and alcohol, some violence, and strong use of language. It is a life story portraying family violence and abuse and moral and physical suffering. The movie shows emotional abuse and psychological distress caused by parents to their children. Since childhood, one of the characters, Jimmy, who is also Eminem, has been subjected to emotional abuse and neglect, including malnutrition, being left alone, and living in a dirty and unpleasant condition. Emotional abuse is a form of abuse characterized by a person subjecting or exposing another to behavior that may cause psychological trauma. This situation creates feeling of helplessness, frustration, and anger, and that living conditions prevents him from entering a prestigious college university and obtaining a good life and profession. He cannot find his place in society, blaming his family and friends in life's injustice. It is always the low-income class of people who are excluded from the society. In my conclusion, 8 Mile shows multiple examples of emotional abuse throughout the whole movie. In the end, our society is made up of a lot of different people and communities, but not all people are privileged enough to see life and society at a wider range.
Psychophysics is said to be the connection between our physical or external stimuli and our mental response. External stimuli is the information from outside the body that our senses detect. For example, at the first scene of the movie 8 Mile, B-Rabbit is in front of the crowd and he has 45 seconds to trap his competitor in a showdown, but despite of practicing and how much good he can actually do, hearing and seeing how the audience diss and insult him, he freezes and was unable to rap, so he just got off stage embarrassed. Any changes in the environment to which an organ or organism responds is called stimulus. A sensation occurs anytime a stimulus activates one of our receptors. Our sense organs detect physical changes in energy such as heat, light, sound, and physical pressure. Seeing how the crowd reacted and hearing those insulting words, his mental response was like that.
With the absence of parental support and negligence from his mother, Jimmy, the main character in the movie 8 Mile, is struggling to his life and struggling to achieve his goal. Due to his life conditions like lack of money and income, it was impossible for him to achieve his dream. Adding the influence of not only his friends but also his enemies, this dream of his becomes much harder to achieve. He suffers emotionally from the embarrassment and humiliation that he receives, resulting in his confidence to be damaged due to the people that continuously bring him down. It's like a man struggles himself on which path should he take, which place will he fit in the environment and kind of society that he's in. And as the story progresses, he was able to gain confidence to stand up and finally be free of the embarrassment that he received with the help of and support of his friends. Just like how the saying goes, no man is an island. We need someone to support and encourage us whenever we are down so we can stand back.